Ted Cruz lets Amy Klobuchar and the Democrats have it in this hearing. And I agree, it's about time to point to their character about what they're doing. It is immoral to be a Democrat and to vote Democrat. That's my proposal. I'm Doug in exile. Let's see if Ted Cruz backs this up.
Democrats today hate democracy. Democrats today are angry at the voters for re-electing Donald Trump and electing a Republican Senate and a Republican House, and they engaged in lawfare to stop democracy from operating. Understand, this is the second phase of lawfare, second chart. This is the second phase of lawfare. Now that their efforts to indict President Trump and stop the voters from re-electing him have failed, they're going and seeking out individual radical judges to try to shut down policies, and they are forum shopping like crazy. Give me any loon judge put on the bench by Obama or Biden who disagrees with a policy. We just saw a judge flagrantly ignore U.S. immigration law concerning TPS being revoked. U.S. law explicitly said there's no judicial review for that. But hey, they found a judge who says, you know what? We, the Democrat Party, we are the party of illegal aliens. We are the party of murderers and rapists and gang members. And the Democrat Party exists here to fight to keep murderers and rapists and gang members in your communities.
Well, someone had to say it, and I'm glad Ted Cruz called him out. Whoa, offensive, but true. It's true. They're literally fighting to keep these people in the country. Trump and Republicans are trying to remove them. Democrats did not want them removed, so they had a judge reverse it. I see no falsehood stated.
There's a reason the Democrat Party is at 26% approval nationwide, because they put radical policies ahead of rule of law. Nationwide injunctions are an abuse of power. It is the judiciary acting as policy deciders, and it is incumbent on this committee and this body to rein in the abuse of power from these unelected radical judges who are trying to overturn the election because they disagree with what the voters decided.
Thank you, Senator Cruz. Senator Klobuchar.
Okay, that was a lot. Let me start with a few things. Number one, we love the democracy, and I believe what we should be having is a civil debate about how we can best, if Donald Trump wants to make changes to the government, we should be doing it in a legal way, not how he's doing it. And the only reason there's all these injunctions, Senator Cruz, is because he's violating the Constitution. Why would Trump-appointed judges...
Why don't you file them in red districts?
Senator Cruz.
What did you just say?
Why don't you file them in red districts?
He got her on the district. The red districts, they know better than the file because they're Trump supporting, so they're judge shopping.
Are the Democrat Attorney General seeking out left-wing blue
esteemed colleague,
quite patient with Senator Cruz's activity in this bill.
Senator Whitehouse.
He's entitled to...
I'm just going to ask for a point of order. Madam Klobuchar, Senator Klobuchar.
Senator Moody, we have debates on this committee. They occur regularly.
Let's let her have her time, and then we'll get back to that. If you want to wait, we'll get back to Senator Cruz.
She's welcome
Senator
to answer the question or
Go
not.
ahead.
It's her choice.
Go ahead.
I'm so
and I would encourage you to answer.
following Senator Cruz once again.
Excuse me?
But I will say
Excuse me? I didn't hear you. What did you say?
To be following him. He and I have a
I was permitting you your time to continue. To be following him in order. Excuse me. Go ahead, Senator Klobuchar.
During hearing.
Go ahead, Senator
That's what I'm referring to.
Go ahead.
And I will take more than my time, since he's taken more than his time to yell at me.
Go ahead.
So what I will
marked the
say
time.
is that...
I'm not yelling. I asked a question.
Senator Cruz, please. I'll give you time. Senator Klobuchar, I've got the time, and you'll be allotted
I
time.
am making the strong case that the reason all these cases have been filed, and the reason that these judges who have been appointed by Ronald Reagan, yes, they still exist, and the Bushes and Donald Trump, judges appointed by Donald Trump, have been making these decisions is because this is not legal. Donald Trump himself has used his social media account, the White House account, to post an image of himself wearing a crown saying, "Long live the king."
And why do you think he did that, Amy Klobuchar? Do you think Donald Trump really thinks he's a king? Long live the king. Look, Democrats are out spraying swastikas on Teslas. Does that instantly make Elon Musk a Nazi? Does Trump putting out a a post of him wearing a crown as a joke to make fun of you and your hysteria. Does that mean he thinks he's a king? By the way, you can get a t-shirt in my store that I did of Trump wearing a crown and it says Bigley on it because it's a funny meme. Of course he's not a king, Amy.
The issue is that we do not live in a kingdom, and Elon Musk is not his court jester. Ours is a nation of laws in which no one is above the law. That is why 39 different judges from vastly different backgrounds, appointed by 5 different presidents, have made clear that these are illegal actions. And these judges have rightly blocked these actions. And it is important that we not lose sight of the underlying cause of these injunctions. It is not that these judges are crooked or lunatics or evil. Those are words used by the president and his allies.
Yeah, I'll use it. They're crooked and they're evil. I don't care who appointed them, even if Trump appointed them. If they're doing this, they're overstepping their this is judicial activism. And yeah, they're evil.
It is because the administration is violating the Constitution. What happens when they use these kinds of words? You see more and more threats against judges. And that is what we're seeing. That is why federal judges and the U.S. Marshals, who are responsible for protecting them, are sounding the alarm about a spike in threats against judges.
Now, we don't support any threats, ever, ever, ever. We don't support it. I don't know if it's true or not, because she's a Democrat trying to make a point. I only know that the threats against death threats against Elon Musk are up to about 18,000 now. I doubt if she cares about those death threats. I mean, I hope she does. I care about the death threats against Democrat judges, against these evil lunatics. No one goes after a judge personally. You take care of this stuff in the courtroom.
This is serious. And unlike what Senator Cruz said, I'm remembering when the threat was made, the horrific threats, and the man was in Justice Kavanaugh's, on his neighborhood, on his street. On a bipartisan basis, we came together and got more funding for the judges and changed things so that they had more protection. So what he said—
Protection from Chuck Schumer when he said, "You will reap the whirlwind," to Kavanaugh and Alito, who made the threat. So yeah, up the cost of the judges, up the cost of security. Maybe that's all you need to do to remedy it. That's all she's saying they did for Kavanaugh when he was stalked with an attempted murder by a Democrat protester.
Was completely untrue in terms of Democrats and Republicans decrying violence. We didn't just decry the violence, we actually did something about it.
Wait, what are you doing about Tesla violence? Now, see, I would love to take her at her word and take her seriously, but they have done nothing, even verbally, to condemn it. They just go like, hey, we don't advocate violence. That is not a condemnation of specifics and telling people you should go to jail if you do this. You'll hear that on the right from Bondi. You won't hear that on the left from Amy Klobuchar.
In response to a court that is run by Justice Roberts, who is a Republican appointee.
Well, yeah, barely.
So I think that kind of language actually makes the situation worse when it's not even true. But unfortunately, Senator Cruz left, so he did not hear my response to what was a lie.
Yeah, and Senator Cruz should have stayed in the room to hear her response. That's just being a gentleman. I agree with that criticism of him. I do still agree with what Ted Cruz said, though, about her, is that they're anti-democracy. Therefore, overall, all of this judge work, the point still stands. It is they're fighting to keep criminal, illegal non-citizens in the country, the ones that Trump is trying to deport. That is the subject of this whole thing, and Amy Klobuchar needs to be able to track this argument all the way through. I'm Doug in exile.